What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, Marvel Comics made quite a splash in the last couple of weeks when TVA number 3 revealed a comic panel that clearly showed what looks like Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch frozen in the TVA. People immediately flocked online to ask the artist, Perez, about it, and this is what he said in an Instagram post. Quote, "To address all the questions about it that I'm getting, yes, this is the same Wanda Maximoff played by Elizabeth Olsen on the MCU films. To the other question, if it means that this comic is MCU continuity or any other issues about how this ties in with the movies or the other comics, please ask the editor Jordan White or the writer Catherine Blair or, I don't know, Kevin Feige." Well, as it turns out, he had to delete that Instagram post because it is not Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch, rather a variant of Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch that is frozen in the TVA. False alarm. But that doesn't mean that we're not imminently approaching a return for Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch in the upcoming Avengers film, something that's been rumored in the wake of Agatha All Along season on Disney Plus, and something that we suspect is going to happen as a lot of characters that haven't been around for a while are going to return for these two films. But it's what Doctor Doom strictly needs Scarlet Witch for in the context of the MCU and under the microscope of those recent concept art leaks that makes it so interesting in a very obvious pairing when Scarlet Witch eventually arrives back in the MCU. And of course, I've seen the recent theory that Doctor Doom wants Wanda for her reality warping powers in order to create Battleworld, but I don't think it's as simple as that. We'll get into that theory, but that's not it, and I'll explain why. There is one specific thing Doctor Doom knows about that Wanda can offer, and that's why he's probably looking for a Scarlet Witch variant of her somewhere across the multiverse. We're breaking it all down, what Doctor Doom specifically needs for Scarlet Witch for Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing. We've actually been growing at a breakneck pace, and if you haven't already, if you've been rocking with the channel for a while or this is your first time finding us, I would just kindly invite you to hit the subscribe button. It is the easiest thing you can do to support us here at Everything Always, and I would sincerely appreciate it. I will also at this moment issue the lightest of spoiler warnings because we are loosely going to reference some of that concept art that leaked about a week and a half ago, and if you're somehow trying to avoid that stuff or haven't seen it already, I ain't mad at you. Now would be the time to leave, come back and see us. But let's start with the theory that's already been out there for the last couple of months, which I don't think is crazy, but I don't think's correct. It basically follows like this. Doctor Doom is going to go find a variant of Scarlet Witch because we've already seen it in MCU canon that she's capable of providing the power needed for Battleworld. Specifically, look at Westview as an example of a very small Battleworld where she warped the entirety of reality within a hex and had its inhabitants' memory wiped, the same way we expect we're seeing by year 8 of Battleworld in the comics with the recent leaked concept art. Now, obviously, as far as this theory goes, the logic is there. The Hex does replicate some elements that we would expect out of Battleworld, and a point I don't see being made is that she created the Hex before she became the Scarlet Witch. Now she's the Scarlet Witch, even more powerful, so maybe one of the most powerful reality warpers, save Franklin Richards, but we assume he'll still be a child by the time we get into Battleworld and not at full potential. But this theory doesn't work with me for two reasons, and no, one of them isn't because we presumably have lost Wanda in the 616 and until Marvel proves otherwise, because there are variants of her across the multiverse. The thing that doesn't sit right with me is that being able to create a Hex in New Jersey is not the same as being able to create Battleworld out of the multiverse, and there's already some beings out there more powerful than the Scarlet Witch that we assume Doom is going to have to best in order to become God Emperor Doom. And while Wanda could play some small part in that, she is not a one-stop shop in order for Doom to create Battleworld, but that doesn't mean that she's not useful to Doom, and I think it's for one specific reason. Dr. Doom's hallmark is not only being a master of technology, but also being a sorcerer himself, which means he would be intimately acquainted with exactly what the Darkhold is. But as we already learned during Doctor Strange and the Illuminati, and of course with Wanda's fate, the Darkhold comes at a heavy cost, a cost that Doctor Doom would not want to pay when he can simply go pick up variants that have already interacted with the Darkhold themselves and use them to his advantage, like a variant of our Wanda who's already become the Scarlet Witch. Now you might be quick to say, but hey, that's not the only character we've seen use the Darkhold. In fact, our Doctor Strange from the 616 before he took off with Clea not only used the Darkhold at the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but we can tell that he is also heavily afflicted and cursed now because of its use. Wouldn't Doctor Doom want to also reach out to him? Yes, Yes, you're right, and in fact install him as his sheriff, as he did in the comics, and as we saw point blank in the concept art. Now, of course, I know this is just concept art. We should not suspect that any of this will actually become scenes in the film. We have to keep saying that every time we reference the concept art, so it's not 100% assured, but Strange being the sheriff for God Emperor Doom was one of the elements from 2015 Jonathan Hickman's run that might inform his role in the movie. And again, if you're asking yourself, well, why would Wanda or Doctor Strange or anyone side with God Emperor Doom? Again, by the 8th year in Battleworld, no one remembered their prior lives. It's all as if they had just always been there, which is how I suspect they're going to pick up with the Secret Wars film and then work their way through it as we're making our way to the end of the film, where people slowly start to remember what their lives were, basically wake up from the spell, which I know sounds a lot like the Hex from Scarlet Witch, which was the impetus for that theory, but I think more important to Doctor Doom would just be an intimate use of the Darkhold magic, because he himself probably wouldn't want to go under the curse of the Darkhold again when he can just find variants of, say, Doctor Strange, perhaps ours, or Scarlet Witch across the multiverse that can do his dirty work for him. But also, because they are the most powerful sorcerers across the multiverse, he's going to want to make sure that they're on his side and under his control. Classic Doctor Doom. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below about Wanda returning in the first place, and do you ultimately believe our 616 Wanda is dead? I'm holding to that until they prove otherwise, but it doesn't mean that we won't get a version of her across the multiverse. And I think that might be, final thought here, one of Marvel's biggest tricks is if they do bring back characters like we covered in yesterday's video, Phil Coulson, etc., you want fans to actually connect with those versions of the characters, so you assume that their backstories, even though they will be variants, will be very similar, so that the viewers who have been on the journey with these characters can connect with them. But Marvel's not stupid, they know that, and as Rick and Morty has shown, you can play with the idea that we haven't been following the same continuity characters in an endless multiverse where there are infinite versions, but as viewers, we always just tend to think that the ones that we are watching have been ours all along, and you see that specifically with what happened with Loki. The Loki that we have in the TV show, the God of Stories Loki, isn't the exact same Loki that we saw during Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame. It's a different Loki. It's a variant now, but when you have the same actor playing the same character, fans tend to embrace it. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We are still giving away PlayStation 5s here at the channel. If you want to be entered to win, super simple. All you got to do is be a sub, leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice in the winning comments shown on screen. So please be safe and vigilant on any platform. Please remember, very rarely are any of the content creators going to hit you up in the comments to tell you won a prize. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, under the name AllFires. While I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.